Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited for this May bullet journal setup. The theme I've picked this month is absolute chef's kiss, so I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I'm starting off with my favorite fine liner, this Micron pen in the 01 thickness. It's just so sharp and so fine, and it's one of my favorite pens to use in my bullet journal, and I know it's a common favorite for a lot of other journalers out there. So I've already sketched out the cover page and I'm tracing it now with this fine liner, and the theme that I've picked for this month is this really cute kind of bakery cafe vibe. As you can see, there's different textures, like this brick wall, there's going to be a bicycle in front, and it's just full of like really cute spring elements that kind of make me think of spring and almost summer coming up. One of my favorite activities to do on weekends is to take my iPad or my bullet journal to a cute cafe. I like to try out new ones in my local area. I often get there by bike and just enjoy the nice weather with a coffee and a baked good. It's so indulgent and it's a little extra sometimes, but it's just so relaxing and I love it so much, and that vibe to me really represents spring and better weather and relaxation, and that's the mood that I wanted to capture with this bullet journal theme. I wanted to incorporate all of those themes into this monthly spread, and as you can see by my Pinterest board, these were the kind of vibes I was going for and the kind of pictures that inspired me for this month's setup. I loved the kind of natural and organic feel. I didn't want to go too cartoony in this month's setup, and I loved the different textures from the bricks and the plants. I didn't want to go too plant heavy because I did a really plant heavy theme in March, so I wanted to focus a bit more on the brick and kind of built elements of this theme. But yeah, I loved the super warm tones that I saw in those Pinterest inspo pictures, and on the other side I'm just adding my goals spread with this little like picnic set. Do you guys know the IKEA set I'm talking about? That's pretty much what I was trying to draw over here on the left. Now I'm ready to color it in, and keeping with my idea of having more natural and organic tones, I didn't want to use super bright colors because I didn't want it to look too doodly or cartoony. I wanted to look a little bit more realistic, so I'm using a lot of mixed warm brown tones, and I'm coloring in the sign. This is my Ohuhu double-tipped marker, by the way. I like to use the brush pen the most, and I'm also going to be using these zebra mild liners throughout, and I like to use the chisel tip on this one, but they do both have a fine tip on the other side. Now I'm drawing this brick wall, and I'm going to show this in more detail later, but this was my favorite element of the entire setup. I think I did such a great job on the bricks, and I did it by mix and matching different brown and reddish brown tones. So I would color each brick. Yeah, I used these colors here, various browns and kind of reddish rusty browns. I would color in half of each brick kind of at random with one color, and then come with another color and color half of some other bricks and sort of blend them in the middle. These markers blend pretty well. They're water-based and I really like them for blending like this, and I think this brick wall just looks so perfect with my theme. I'm also really happy with this green color I chose. It's kind of muted and kind of neutral or grayish greenish, and I think that fits the mood perfectly. It doesn't distract from all the other elements in the setup, and I'm pairing it with this brown here for the striped awning. Then I'm just coloring in some of the plants I have. The plants are a little bit more vibrant but not too bright. I went with like a sort of wood siding on the bottom, so we have the brick on top and the wood siding on the bottom of this cafe building, and then I'm doing the same reddish brownish color on the door to really make it pop. I think it just looks so friendly, and it's giving me that neighborhood cafe hidden gem vibe that I think is just so warm and reminds me of spring. And yeah, this whole setup just makes me feel like happy. Like this looks like a weekend morning casual cycle you stumble across a really cute underrated cafe. I hope that's what you guys are getting to. Those are the vibes that I was going for here. I drew this bicycle in the foreground, and how cute is this little wicker pannier with baguettes in the back? I love it so much. For the color of the bike, I wanted to do something a little bit brighter that would pop a little bit, so I went with this light blue. I think it looks so perfect against the more muted background of the cafe, and just looks so spring and so fresh and fun. I'm so pleased with how this bicycle is looking in the foreground. I added a few bright flowers and tulips in the basket, and that's pretty much it for this cover page. I'm finishing things off with a little bit of shading. I always like to use 2 tones of the browns or like the 2 tones of blue on the bike to make it look a little bit more realistic with some shadows. I wanted to add a bit of text to the sandwich board here. My white gel pen is kind of dying on me, so I did my best, but this is the cover page. The next spread I'm going to be working on is the calendar page. As you guys may know, I usually actually do the cover page last because I like to get ideas and inspiration from the rest of the setup before I kind of commit to the cover page. But I was feeling really confident this month and I kind of knew exactly the tone and doodles that I wanted to do. So I did it exactly in this order. I did the cover page first and then I moved on to the calendar spread. Very linear, very unusual for me. But for this calendar spread, I wanted to do a full 2-page calendar, which I've really been enjoying and getting a lot of use out of. And I decided to fill the background with the half brick, half wood, same as I did on the side of the building on the cover page. So I drew out the wood siding on the bottom and now I'm drawing those bricks, and I'll show in a little bit more detail how I did this. So I filled the page with these rounded rectangles and I just offset them randomly, so you don't want them lined up or stacked neatly. They're all kind of offset from each other. Then I colored in the whole background here with a really light beige tone first. And then we're going to be grabbing that set of mixed browns and kind of reddish browns, and I'm coloring in each brick half in one color, just kind of randomly picking different bricks. You don't want it to look neat or organized, so the more random the better. I just grab each brown and color in half of a bunch of different bricks, and then I go in with another brown or another one of the reddish brown tones and fill in the other half, again at random, so there's no 2 bricks that are exactly the same, and kind of just fill in the gaps like you see me doing here. I'm so pleased with how this brick wall looks. I think it's so kind of 3-dimensional and so realistic looking for the wood paneling. I'm glad I didn't do a whole page of brick wall because it was pretty time consuming, so this wood paneling was a lot quicker, and I just used this really fat chisel tip marker to fill it all in very quickly. But I'm so pleased with how this calendar spread looks. I think by coloring in the whole page it looks really complete. And now I'm going back in with my fine liner and writing the days of the week in this kind of classic calligraphy cursive style, just writing them in the top bar, and then I'll fill in the days of the calendar. I was super pleased with how the spread was looking, and I'm just filling in the numbers now, but I felt like I was missing that little pop of something that the cover page had, and I realized I wanted to add a little bit of greenery here, so I went back into this signage. This kind of matches what I had on the cover page, and I just added a little bit of grass here. Luckily I had just enough space and the background was really light, so I was able to use my green and put some grass here. Okay, for the next spread, it's going to be my trackers page. So as usual, I have my habit tracker on the left and my mood tracker on the right. For the title of each page, I have this really cute kind of signage board thing that, to me, in my mind, it kind of fits the whole like cafe vibes. I hope you guys see that too, but anyways, it's super cute, and so I'm just laying out the 4 habits that I'll have here, and then I'm going to do the same with the mood tracker on the right. For a while, like especially last year, if you guys have been following my channel, you may already know, but I was really struggling with actually using my habit and mood trackers. Like I would set it up, it would look so pretty, but then I would never use it. And I've been finding the past few months, like in early 2025 this year, I've actually been using them a lot more, and what has really helped me is making it more simple. So for example, for the habit trackers, I don't write out all the numbers or the days of the whole month, and I don't color it in either. Even though it looks really aesthetic, I just like it's too much work, honestly, day to day in the month month. And what has helped me is instead of coloring in the days for the habits, I just use a fine liner and make an X on the days where I actually do each habit. And I've actually been filling out my habit and mood tracker way more when I don't need to organize my colors to match the theme and I don't feel any pressure like that. I just grab a fine liner and cross out the days where I did each habit. Or instead of having different colors for different moods, I will just have like a hatching style. So all I need is one pen to fill out my journal. And that has been really helpful for me to actually get more use out of my habit and mood trackers. I loved the bicycle that I did on the cover page so much that I wanted to draw a bigger one, and I found this from Pinterest, like from one of the pins that I saved on the board I showed you earlier. I thought it was so cute with these baguettes and sourdough bread in the basket, although I guess you should like not really just put them directly in the basket, it's kind of dirty, but it looks really cute in this doodle. So I have this kind of classic bike over here, and I'm just drawing out the frame of the bicycle, have baguettes and breads in the front, and then I'll have the plants and flowers in the back. I think it's so spring, so fresh, so fun, and it really fits the cafe, the cafe vibe really well in this theme. I do feel lucky that I live in a very safe city where I'm able to ride my bike to a cafe, for instance, park it outside, go inside and enjoy my coffee and relax. I know some friends who live in different cities with more significant bike theft. They can't even put simple attachments on their bike like a water bottle holder or a bell or lights because they will just get stolen so quickly. And that kind of blew my mind. I didn't know that was a thing. Of course, I always lock my bike and I don't leave it out unattended at night, for example, but I do feel very safe and confident to just park it in a public area during the day. Nothing will ever happen. I've never had anything stolen or nicked off my bike. So that kind of blew my mind that there are areas, and I guess it was a bit ignorant of me that I didn't really think that there are areas in cities out there where you can't just leave things up for grabs, I guess, on your bike. So yeah, I'm curious if this is something you guys have experienced. It's really unfortunate. I hope you guys don't have to deal with that. I feel lucky that I haven't, and I feel very safe to just park my bike, lock it, and my bell or my lights won't get stolen off my bike. But yeah, let me know in the comments, have you guys had any experiences like that? And do you guys feel safe locking your bike in public areas where you live? I'm just coloring in these signs now to finish off the spread. I'm done with the bike drawing, and I'm just going to color in the doodles on the mood tracker. So the grid that I've drawn in the roof, or like the little awning of this little kind of bakery stand here, that's where I'll be writing in the numbers of the days of the month. I forgot to do it here, but I wrote it in after, so you'll see it in the final flip through in the end. That's where I'll be coloring in or writing in my moods for each day, but I'm just filling it in now in the background, and that's it for the tracker spread. Finally, I need to set up the space for the weekly spreads, so I'm going to do a Dutch door here with tabs. So I'm going and cutting out each page and leaving a little tab on the side, and then I just rip out the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to cut on the second page, I'll just cut a tab a little bit lower than that, and there'll be like these cascading Dutch doors with tabs, and those will be my weekly spreads. And then I just need to do a little bit of artwork around it, which you'll see in a minute. And the cool thing about Dutch doors is when you flip them, you can see the art behind them, so it actually does save you some time because you only need to do one drawing that you can see on multiple different weeks. Over here, I'm going to set up a gratitude page or gratitude tracker or spread, however you want to think of it, and I'm making this little sandwich board similar to the cover page, and then I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm just writing the numbers for all the days of May, and basically every day in the month I will write down something that I'm grateful for. This is something that I kind of enjoy doing, and it's nice to have the intention of actually writing it down instead of just thinking it. I think it makes it a bit more intentional, and it's nice to look back and see that you took that little bit of time to be intentional and think about what you're grateful for in your life. So I have that set up, and then I wrote down the week numbers on the tabs on the right, and I'm gonna do the brick background here because I loved it so much on that calendar page. I'm gonna kind of replicate that in the background here. So the top half will be bricks, and then the bottom half of the spread will be the wood siding, and I'll do the same thing on the right page. And the cool thing is then when you flip over each week, you can see both the brick and the wood siding on both sides every week. I'm just coloring in all of these doodles now. The whole spread is all set up. I just need to color it in, doing the same coloring as you already saw on the cover page. For this sandwich board, I wanted it to look like a chalkboard, so I colored it in black. Unfortunately, my white gel pen, it's just not working super well right now, and it doesn't work super well on marker. It's better on black paper. So I also tried this other paint pen, but yeah, it's kind of hard to see. It's supposed to say, "Today I'm grateful for." Maybe if I find a better pen later, I can touch this up. But yeah, for now, I'm really happy with how it looks, coloring in the wood siding, and then I'm gonna color in the brick on top. Same strategy as I did for the brick on the calendar spread. I actually cannot believe how good the brick wall looks. I don't know what it is. I think it's just very like 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional or something. I think it looks incredible. It makes me so happy. And now I just need to finish off the spread by filling in the tabs, and I'm going to color each tab in a different color that matches the whole palette of the setup. I like having the green here because there's no other green on this spread, so I think that kind of fits well. And I just, mixed up the colors, and because I liked the green, I did it one more time for week 4. The first week of May is only 3 days, so we have the gratitude tracker on the left, and then I'm going to set up the spread on the right for the first week. There's 3 days, so I'll have 1, 2, 3, and then I was so dumb here and I wrote 4, except the 4th is the next Sunday, so I'm gonna have to change that later. It didn't occur to me until I was editing the video, but I wrote the numbers in a larger font, and then I wrote the days of the week in that simple calligraphy font right on top. Really love this style, and I haven't done it very much this year, so I want to do a bit more of these funner spreads. And then so dumb, I wrote to do on top of 04, which makes no sense. So I'm gonna have to fix that later, but just try to imagine it's not there. And then finally, I'm filling in the background of each day with this kind of light grid pattern, and I'm doing a variety of grids. This is such a great trick, so underrated, to make your bullet journal look more professional and tied together and complete with like pretty much 0 effort. It's so easy to make these grids in the background, and it just looks very complete and finished. And you can see I have all the tabs here. Every week you flip through, you'll be able to see all the art and the brick wall in the background. This is the final flip through of my May bullet journal setup. I am so pleased with how it turned out. I know I've said it many times, but this brick wall is just so chef's kiss. I love it so much. Everything makes me feel happy and relaxed and ready for summer, and I hope you guys loved this setup too. Please let me know in the comments what you think, and I will speak to you guys next month. Bye, friends!